The rains no longer fall as they used to. The land is drying, and the shea trees, the backbone of women's income in northern Ghana, are dying. Now, the same women who once lived off these trees are struggling for survival in Ghana's cities. Mariam Hadi is a former shea nut collector.
Initially, picking shea nut was a profitable venture for me, generating between 500 and 1,000 cedis monthly. However, the business I invested in didn't thrive due to the decline of the shea nut industry. As a result, I had to relocate to Kumasi and take up work as a porter to make ends meet.
Mariam is one of thousands once shea nut collectors, now head porters, working long hours for very little.
What I'm doing here is tough. Back home, being a shea nut collector was good.
3 young women, 3 different communities, but the same reason for leaving home. The shea trees no longer fruit. Mariam Isako is another former shea collector. Mariam has left her husband and children back home.
Carrying heavy loads can cause neck and body pain, although some days you might be fortunate and get a lighter load.
My name is Suleimana.
My name is Suleimana Mariam. The work here is difficult, but shea nut collection was a lucrative business. The problem is they are scarce now.
Scientists say the problem is deeper than poverty. The weather is changing and the trees cannot survive. Dr. Regina Tang Guru is the head of Forest and Climate Change Division at the CSIR Forestry Research Institute of Ghana.
Increased temperature and reduced rainfall, which is drought, are definitely going to have a stress on the plant, and that affects various physiological properties of the tree in terms of its growth, in terms of its fruiting patterns. We've already talked about the yields. So these are some of the stresses that we can expect. And of course, if we also talk about global warming and climate change, these also lead to increased buildup of dry biomass. And when you have increased buildup of dry biomass, you also end up having more, what we expect as more risk of wildfires. And so the wildfires also tend to affect the trees and bring an added layer of stress for tree growth and tree productivity.
In Tamale, groups like the Savannah Women Integrated Development Agency are helping women learn new skills. Hajia Alima Sajito is the executive director.
We have been in communities where you can hardly count 10, 15 young girls. They've gone. So it's a real thing, it's happening.
The Global Shea Alliance, through the Ghana Shea Landscape Emission Reductions Project, combines protection of existing trees with large-scale replanting.
We are raising, like every year, we seed, that is, we put into polypots about 1.5 million, right? And we get about 50% of that germinating, and another 75% of the 50 surviving before we graft some and take some to the, we transplant the rest. Shea has not become commercially viable. Like farmers will go out and buy cashew seedlings themselves and transplant them.
Clement Matumasin is the executive director of Dream Village. Clement's team promotes regenerative agriculture, restoring soil, biodiversity, and livelihoods.
What needs to be done specifically will be policy changes, that we make general policies. We know that some of these policies are already in existence, but enforcing them is a problem. So can we go back to the drawing board, work with the local community?
As the shea trees die, more women and girls will be forced to leave home. But with the right support, the trees can return, and so can the livelihoods of northern Ghana's women.
This story is brought to you by JoyNews in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from CLARE R41 Opportunities Fund.